They say there are people who celebrate your failure more than their own successes, but what they don't know is that there exists a sacred food mentioned in the scriptures that, placed in the right place, can reverse all envy and open the doors of prosperity. Today, you are going to discover the 3 most powerful corners of your home, where honey not only sweetens, but also seals divine protection and attracts the abundance you have been waiting for. And stay until the end, because I am going to reveal an ancestral error that many people make when using it, and that can block all its blessing without them knowing it. If you already feel that this message arrived at the exact moment, write down in the comments, "I receive abundance and blessing." Now that you have left your declaration, I want you to pay close attention to what comes next, because understanding how honey really acts on the spiritual plane can forever transform the way you see it and use it in your life. And it is right there, in that hidden knowledge transmitted through generations, where true transformation begins. Although many know it only as a natural sweetener, honey is actually one of the most sacred symbols of the Jewish tradition. Its use dates back to biblical times, where it represented the promise of a land flowing with milk and honey, the land of divine abundance. In the teachings of our sages, honey is not a common food. It is a conduit of blessing, an element that attracts the sweetness of life and protects against the bitterness of the evil eye and negative intentions. In the sacred texts, we are taught that honey represents transformation and spiritual sweetness. Bees take the nectar from flowers and convert it into something precious, just as we must transform life's trials into blessings. But there is something deeper. Honey has a unique property. It never rots. Years, even decades can pass and it remains pure. This quality makes it a symbol of eternity, of protection that does not corrupt with time. When we use honey consciously in certain spaces of our home, we are activating a channel of ancestral blessing. We are telling the Creator that we are ready to receive the sweet, the good, the prosperous. Honey acts as a spiritual magnet that attracts blessings, and at the same time forms a shield against the energies of envy, scarcity, and negativity that others can project onto us consciously or unconsciously. Our sages taught that at Rosh Hashanah, we dip the apple in honey, not only by tradition, but because we are declaring our intention to have a sweet year. That same principle can be applied in our home throughout the year. When we place strategic honeys with pure intention, we are constantly renewing that declaration of sweetness and prosperity. But it is not enough to place honey anywhere. There are 3 specific points where its power is amplified exponentially. 3 corners where the blessing is anchored and begins to manifest in your life in surprising ways. And right now, I am going to reveal to you which are those 3 sacred places and the testimonies of transformation that many people have experienced by honoring them. The first place to apply honey is the mezuzah of your main entrance, that sacred symbol that marks the threshold of your home. Since ancient times, we are taught that the entrance of the house is the point where all the energy that enters is filtered. Everything that crosses that threshold, people, words, intentions, leaves a spiritual mark. If the entrance of your house is loaded with heavy energy, it may be interfering with your prosperity, your relationships, and your mental peace without you noticing it. Here, honey acts as a seal of divine sweetness. Its density represents the capacity to sweeten the bitter, to transform difficulties into blessings, and to close invisible doors through which negativity and envy often enter. In addition, its natural and soft aroma symbolizes the welcome to the protective angels and the rejection of any force that does not come with pure intentions. To perform this blessing, you need a small amount of pure honey, preferably kosher. Take a drop of honey with your right index finger, which in tradition represents the column of mercy. With reverence, spread just a small amount on the upper part of your door frame, right where the mezuzah begins if you have it, or in the upper right corner. If you don't have it yet, do it with deep intention, declaring in a low voice or in your heart that only sweetness enters through this door, that only blessing crosses this threshold, that everything bitter stays outside. Sarah, a widowed woman who lived with her 3 children and had been struggling for 2 years with debts that never finished being paid off, decided to do this practice after her mother told her about this ancient custom. Her house always received visits from neighbors who arrived with complaints, problems, and heavy energy. Sarah felt that no matter how much she worked, the money left as quickly as it arrived, and that a gray cloud covered her home. One Thursday afternoon, before lighting the Shabbat candles, she took a small jar of honey that she had saved from Rosh Hashanah, and with tears in her eyes applied a drop to her door frame, asking the Eternal to sweeten her life and protect her family. That same night, she felt something different in the air of her home. The following week, a conflictive neighbor who always brought gossip and problems simply stopped visiting her without any apparent reason. And 2 weeks later, Sarah received an unexpected call offering her a better paid job, which finally allowed her to begin getting out of debt. Since that day, every time she feels that the energy of her house weighs or that things stagnate, she renews the honey at her entrance and declares the blessing again. And every time, without fail, she notices how doors open in ways that she cannot explain with logic, only with faith. This is not coincidence or superstition. It is an ancient spiritual principle. When you mark the threshold of your home with honey and with pure intention, you are sending a clear message to the universe and to the Creator. Here only enters what elevates me, what blesses me, what brings shalom. Everything else stays outside, and that spiritual clarity opens celestial doors that before remained closed. The second place where honey displays a special and ancestral power is in your kitchen, specifically near the place where you keep bread or prepare food. It may seem simple, but this is one of the most sacred spaces of the Jewish home. The kitchen represents sustenance, divine provision, the manna that sustains us day by day. It is where the blessing of parnasá is materialized, the economic sustenance that we need so much. From the wisdom of our sages, the kitchen is the material heart of the home. Here is where the raw is transformed into food, the simple into abundance. And when this space is spiritually clean and blessed, the whole house is nourished by that prosperous energy. But when it is loaded, neglected, or full of unexpressed worries, it can become a blocking point for the flow of sustenance. Therefore, using honey in this area is not just a symbolic action, it is a declaration of faith. You are saying, I trust that divine provision flows to me. I trust that my table will never be empty. I trust that the bitter will transform into sweet. To apply this blessing, take a small, transparent, and clean glass jar. Place in it 3 tablespoons of pure honey. While you do it, visualize how that honey represents the 3 fundamental blessings: health, peace, and sustenance. Close the jar and place it in a discreet but visible place in your kitchen. It can be on a shelf near where you keep bread, or next to your spice rack. Don't hide it. Let it be present as a constant reminder that sweetness and abundance are already in your home. Every time you enter your kitchen and see that jar, take a second to touch the glass with your right hand and say mentally or in a low voice, Baruch Hashem, for the abundance that is already here and for what is coming on the way. This simple gesture renews the intention and keeps the blessing channel active. Leah, a woman who worked long hours, but who always ended the month with accounts just right or in the red, heard about this practice from a friend who attended a Torah study. Leah was skeptical at first, but something inside her told her she should try it. One Sunday morning, she cleaned her kitchen thoroughly, something she hadn't done with such dedication in months, and placed the jar of honey on a shelf next to her spices. While doing it, she felt an inexplicable emotion, as if she were doing something sacred that her ancestors had done before her. She began to cry without understanding why, but in her heart she felt a deep peace. In the following days, she noticed that her relationship with food and with money began to change. She stopped making impulsive purchases, began to cook with more love and attention, and strangely, began to receive invitations to dinners where she didn't have to spend. After 3 weeks, she received completely unexpected news, a tax refund that she had completely forgotten about, and that allowed her to cover several pending expenses. But the most important thing was that since then, every time she opens her pantry, she feels there is enough, not necessarily more quantity, but a feeling that nothing is lacking. And that feeling of sufficiency attracted more job opportunities, better deals with suppliers, and a stability she had not known before. This is the silent but profound power of honey in the kitchen. It doesn't make instant miracles, but it changes your internal frequency from scarcity to abundance. And when your mind and your spirit are aligned with abundance, the universe responds in the same way. Provision begins to flow not because you forced it, but because you opened the channel that was blocked by fear and worry. The third place where honey acts with an ancestral but discreet force is your bedroom, specifically in a small container placed under your bed or on your nightstand. Many do not know it, but the bedroom is the space where we are most spiritually vulnerable. Here you rest, dream, lower all your defenses, and connect with the deepest planes of your subconscious and your soul. From the teachings of Kabbalah and the sages, the bedroom holds the most intimate imprint of whoever inhabits it. Every unexpressed thought, every worry that takes away your sleep, every disturbing dream, all that leaves an energetic imprint that, if not cleaned and sweetened, can begin to affect your health, your relationships, your mental clarity, and even your ability to attract prosperity. Here is where honey becomes a profound spiritual tool. Placing honey in your bedroom is like telling your soul, rest in peace, rest in sweetness, rest protected. It is an act of spiritual care that our grandmothers knew well, but that has been lost over time. To perform this practice, you need a small glass or ceramic container, preferably white or transparent. Place in it 2 tablespoons of pure honey while you do it. Declare in your heart that my nights be sweet, that my dreams be blessed, that my rest be restorative and protected from all negativity. Place this container under your bed, near where you rest your head, or on your nightstand if you prefer to have it more accessible. Leave it there for a complete lunar cycle, that is approximately 30 days. Don't touch it. Don't move it. Simply allow it to do its silent work of sweetening the energetic space where you rest. If you have a partner, it is important that both agree with this practice and that both put their intention into it. If you sleep alone, it is even more important, because your energy field is not shared, and the honey will work exclusively for you. If you have photographs of deceased people in your bedroom or mirrors facing the bed, consider moving them or covering them, because according to tradition, they can interfere with deep spiritual rest. Miriam's case is especially moving. She is a young woman, mother of 2 small children, who had been suffering from severe insomnia for more than a year. She woke up every night with anguish, with obsessive thoughts about money, about the future, about her marriage, which was going through a silent crisis. Her husband slept well, but she did not, and that lack of rest was consuming her. One afternoon, her mother-in-law, a wise and traditional woman, told her about this ancient practice. She told her that her own mother had done it when they were going through difficult times and that it always worked. Miriam, desperate to find something to help her, decided to try it, although she didn't fully understand how something so simple could work. She cleaned her room, removed unnecessary objects, covered the mirror she had facing the bed, and placed the small container with honey under her side of the bed. That night, before sleeping, she put her hand on the mattress right above where the honey was and asked with all her heart that she could rest in peace. To her surprise, she slept deeply for the first time in months. It wasn't perfect, but it was different. In the following nights, her sleep became more restorative. Her obsessive thoughts decreased, and she began to feel a calm that she had not experienced for a long time. And something else happened. Her husband, without her telling him anything, began to show himself more present, more affectionate, more willing to talk about what was happening to them as a couple. After 3 weeks, both had a deep conversation that they had not been able to have in months. They cried, reconciled, forgave each other, and shortly after, Miriam received a job offer that allowed her to work from home and have more time with her children, something she had been asking for in her prayers for more than a year. Since then, every month, she renews the honey under her bed and maintains her bedroom as a sacred space of rest and blessing. This is the discreet but transformative power of honey in the bedroom. It doesn't shout, it doesn't impress, but it works in the deepest layers of your being. It sweetens your dreams, calms your mind, and opens blessing channels that during the day are blocked by noise and worries. And when you sleep in peace, your soul recharges, your body heals, and your life begins to align with what you really deserve. As you have seen, these 3 places were not chosen by chance. Each one represents a fundamental pillar in your life. The entrance as a portal of protection and opening, the kitchen as a center of sustenance and provision, and the bedroom as a sanctuary of rest and regeneration. And when you honor these spaces with honey, with intention and with faith, something profound begins to change, not only in your house, but also inside you. But be careful, because although this knowledge is sacred and powerful, there is still something crucial you must know before applying the final ritual. An ancestral warning that can make the difference between this practice blessing you or you unknowingly blocking it yourself. I'll explain it to you now. Before showing you the final ritual with honey, there is something you cannot ignore, a simple but fundamental warning that many people overlook. Never use honey that is not pure. Processed honey, mixed with sugars or syrups, has lost its sacred essence. Always look for natural honey, preferably kosher that comes from reliable sources. Honey is a direct gift from creation and must be treated with respect. But that's not all, because beyond the quality of the honey, there is a second aspect even more important. Your own intention? Yes. Although honey is a powerful blessing conductor, it also responds to your inner state. If you use it from fear, desperation, or doubt, its effect can be blocked or even reversed. Therefore, before using it, take a sacred moment. Wash your hands as you would before a prayer. Breathe deeply and connect with gratitude for everything you already have, even if it seems little. Visualize how your home fills with light, how blessings flow like a river of golden honey that touches every corner, and give thanks in advance for all the good that is on its way to you. Because honey opens the channel, but the true blessing begins in your heart. When your heart is open, grateful, and confident, the Creator responds with abundance. And now that you know this, you are ready to learn a small but profound complementary ritual that will elevate even more everything you have learned so far. But before revealing it to you, if this message is touching something deep in you, it is time for you to declare it. If you feel that the time has come to open yourself to receive, subscribe to this channel right now and activate notifications to continue receiving ancestral wisdom that transforms lives. This is your sign that you are ready for the next level. Do it now, because when you declare your commitment to your spiritual growth, the universe responds immediately. And now, yes, it is time to close this powerful process with a sacred ritual that you can do in your home, and that many people have used as spiritual reinforcement to seal everything learned. For this ritual, you will only need 3 sacred elements: a transparent glass cup, pure honey, and 3 grains of coarse salt. Fill the glass to 1/3 with honey. Do it slowly, observing how the golden honey falls, forming spirals as a symbol of the continuous flow of blessings. Then add the 3 grains of salt, one by one. As they fall, declare in a low voice, "One for health, one for peace, one for sustenance." Salt represents purification and protection in our tradition, and together with honey creates a perfect balance between sweetness and strength. Now choose a place in your house where you feel the energy is heavier or where you spend a lot of time. It can be your living room, your kitchen, or even your workplace if you work from home. Place there the glass with honey and salt in a discreet but present place. Leave it for 7 complete days without moving it, without touching it, without covering it. During that time, the honey will begin to absorb all the dense energy from the environment and transform it into sweetness. Don't be scared if you see that the salt dissolves slowly or that small bubbles appear in the honey. That means it is working, that it is active, that it is doing its work of spiritual transformation. Simply observe it with respect and gratitude. On the 7th day, just before the sun sets, take the glass carefully and pour its contents into soil, preferably in a pot with a living plant or in your garden if you have one. While doing so, give thanks out loud. Thank you, Hashem, for the cleansing performed, for the blessings received, and for everything that is to come. Then wash the glass with clean water and store it for future blessings. If you wish to repeat the ritual, you can do it every Rosh Chodesh, at the beginning of each new Hebrew month, to constantly renew the blessings in your home. This ritual, although it seems simple, has a profound symbolic power. You are telling your soul and the Creator that you are willing to let go of the old, the bitter, what no longer serves to make space for the sweet, the new, the blessed. And that act of faith is the first step for real abundance, to begin to manifest in your life in tangible and concrete ways. You have reached the end of this sacred journey, and if you are here, it is because something in your soul resonated with this ancestral teaching. You are no longer the same person who began this message. Now you carry with you a knowledge that your ancestors kept for generations, and that today is reborn in you. Now you know how to transform the energy of your home, how to protect yourself from negativity, and how to open yourself to the flow of blessings that the Creator has prepared for you. If this content touched your heart, leave in the comments, "Honey is my sacred ally," and share this message with someone who needs to sweeten their life and open the doors of abundance. See you soon with more wisdom that heals and transforms. Shalom.